Central Bank of Nigeria announces unification of foreign exchange windows, abolishes Naira for dollar scheme. The U.S. Federal Reserve pauses interest rate hike, plus oil extends downtrend as China economy stumbles in May. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Benny Adams, your guide. Good to have you join us this morning as we talk business and bring you up to speed on happenings around the world in the marketplace. I'll start by telling you that the Central Bank of Nigeria has announced the unification of all segments of the Nigerian forex market. The Apex Bank, in a statement Wednesday, announced the collapse of all windows into the investors and exporters window. This move is part of the federal government's efforts to improve liquidity and stability in the market and attract foreign investors into the Nigerian economy. The Apex Bank also stopped the RT200 program and the Naira for dollar remittance scheme from 30th June 2023. These schemes, which incentivize remittances and encourage the inflow of foreign currency, will no longer be in operation. According to the press statement signed by the Director of Financial Markets, Angela Seri Ejimbe, the bank abolished the segmentation of the foreign exchange market into different windows, emphasizing that all transactions will now be done through the investors and exporters window, where the exchange rate will be determined by market forces. It added that applications for medicals, school fees, BTA, DTA, and SMEs would continue to be processed through deposit money banks. The World Bank, at the ongoing Global Forum on Adaptive Social Protection in Berlin, says there is a need for global financing towards social protection for all in the face of multiple global crises. This is as stakeholders believe social protection is one of the most effective instruments for fighting poverty and hunger.
Next crisis or the next pandemic to strike, we need to be right now acting with a sense of urgency.
But there's also a need for empowering governments to come up with own financial systems and with own financial thinking, and how to support tax systems, starting with the revenue in various countries, to really rise this amount.
Moving to fill these 5 gaps, right? Coverage, financing, opportunity, flexibility, and system development.
And that's why the Ministry of Finance and the economic reform in the country, cutting down on subsidies, increasing taxations, having some sort of economic reform, and it also aligned with lots of legal reform, whether for the social pension reform, for the reform on the law for disability, law for economic, law for SMEs. You're trying to align all of this within a rights-based social protection vision.
Now from Berlin to the United States of America, where after more than a year of hiking interest rates, the U.S. Federal Reserve has hit a pause on increases for now. On Wednesday, the Federal Open Market Committee, which is the federal branch that determines the direction of monetary policy, left the federal funds rate at a target range of between 5% and 5.25%. That comes after 10 consecutive inter-rate hikes, which the central bank has been implementing in an effort to bring down inflation. The break from interest rate hikes had been widely expected, coming on the heels of the latest report on consumer prices, showing that inflation rose at an annual rate of 4% in May, the lowest annual rate in about 2 years. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, however, hinted that nearly all committee participants expected will be appropriate to raise interest rates somewhat further by the end of the year. Today on the program, we shall be looking at deepening trade relations between Nigeria and Taiwan. And I have joining me Mr. Liu Vitping Andy. He is the representative, Taipei Trade Office in Nigeria. Mr. Andy, you're welcome to Business Express and welcome to Nigeria. Most of Nigeria, you're home to Nigeria for now.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's quite an honor and privilege to be in this great Nigerian TV station to get the chance to discuss about how Taiwan and Nigeria can benefit from each other.
Okay, great. Mr. Andy, I'm sure you've been around and your eyes have been glued to TV stations like ours and also listening to radio. And you know very well, I'm sure you were also at the Eagle Square where you witnessed the inauguration of a new government, talking about the presidency of Ahmed Bola Tinubu as a new president. And also a few days ago, we had the National Assembly,
yes,
all talking about how to improve Nigeria's economy. And looking at Taiwan, Taiwan is one country that is doing very well in trade. Now, how will you assess trade relationship between Nigeria and Taiwan, and how can we make this relationship, this bilateral trade relationship, better?
Thank you so much for the good question, because I've been posted to Nigeria as Chief of Missions for Taiwan government for nearly 2 years and 7 months. For the last half a year, our office and myself and my colleague have been witnessing how Nigeria had taken the strong hold of being the largest democracy in whole Africa. You have made history of steadfastly moving forward for your democratic achievement. So I congratulate the President-elect, His Excellency President Tinubu, during his victory in late February. And also I pay congratulatory message to His Excellency during his inauguration. But let me just point out, we feel quite honored and pleasantly surprised to hear that President Tinubu, during his campaign in the southeast of Nigeria, he said that he will make the southeast of Nigeria become Taiwan of Africa. So this is a news piece we collected so happily that President Tinubu had made his campaign, not promises, but proclamation of how to make Nigeria moving forward, but utilizing the model of Taiwan develop ourselves as the best model of non-oil economy in the past half a century. So Taiwan, as the government official from Taiwan, we feel honored, and we feel that whatever our government can do to help Nigeria and help the new administration to move forward of Nigeria into a better development in economic and social development, we are happy to cope with that. So our office, thank you so much.
Okay, Mr. Andy,
yeah.
Yes, like you rightly mentioned, that the president has promised to make a part of this country, a part of Nigeria, a part of Taiwan, more like talking about development, economic growth, and all of that. What's that thing about Taiwan that Nigeria should learn from?
Right. First of all, we the people in Taiwan envy Nigeria so much. You have all the natural resources. We have no natural resources, and you don't have any natural disaster that Taiwan has. We have typhoon, we have earthquake, we have volcano, but you have none of this natural disaster. So we are actually very mutually complementary to each other. So like I mentioned earlier, Taiwan is the best model referential to Nigeria as non-oil economy. That's why our mission set up here in 1991. It has been continuously for more than 31 years, and we contribute our economic development, our technology advancement to be able to assist in whatever way our technical know-how, our development model, especially on small and medium enterprises, will be valuable, referential information for Nigeria. So we're expecting the new administration under the leadership of His Excellency President Tinubu to send a delegation to Taiwan anytime sooner for a mutually beneficiary negotiation or discussion.
I also understand Taiwan, to a large extent, is doing well in the area of blue economy. Talking about you're surrounded by water. I also understand that at some point Taiwan will have to import soil, more like, into Taiwan for some kind of work. Now that you are in Nigeria and you see the vastness of our blue economy, what areas do you think Taiwan can actually come in to assist Nigeria? And also in terms of technology, adding value to our MSMEs, particularly the agro sector. How can Taiwan come in at this point?
Right, because each country had to find out its strong point and its weakness. So our country normally would do the legitimate trading and investment scheme under the World Trade Organization, because Nigeria and Taiwan, we are the equal member in the World Trade Organization. That's why we are proudly to support Madame Okonjo-Iweala in Geneva. But at the same time, Taiwan economic development have made a very progressive way from light industry, heavy industry to information industry for the last 30 to 40 years. It takes a lot of time for government to sit down with the private sector to find out what might be the strongest point for your country. So our suggestion is for the Nigerian government, the new administration, to sit down with the federal ministries and the private sector and together with state government to find out what might be your requests and what might be your need that Taiwan can step in to help, no matter from agriculture, vocational training, information technology, education, or small and medium enterprises development model. So it will be a trilateral collaboration between government, federal, state, and private sector had to work together. That is our first step suggestion, but we're open to any kind of approach to us so that we can counter proposal what we can actually provide for the Nigerian economic development model.
Okay, we've spoken about government-to-government relationship. Now let's talk about government to business and business to business. How are Nigerian businesses faring in Taiwan as it is today, and what's like the volume of trade between both countries?
Right. If we talk about in very practical terms, our missions serve as a government mission, but we have a Taiwan Trade Center in Lagos, serve as the bridging and matching agency for both Nigeria and Taiwan traders who would like to do each other's kind of work. And also your financial institution like the Nigerian Export-Import Bank and our Taiwan Export-Import Bank had signed a mutually understanding memorandum about 2 years ago to provide $5 million of trade loan guarantee. So that's the facilitation that both Nigeria and Taiwan put into financial institutions to substantially help the trader. And at the same time, your Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment had approached our government to renew the 1994 the protection of mutual investment between Nigeria and Taiwan. So that is a practical and very, very cordial approach to us. So the negotiation between Nigeria and Taiwan governmental delegation had already finished all the discussion. Now need to be signed by both sides, then we can put into a renewed implementation of that agreement. That will be another building block for Taiwan and Nigeria to move forward. What I've been talking about is happening in the recent years. That means it's practical for Nigeria and Taiwan to move forward about how we can cooperate with each other. And these very important building blocks are all abiding the World Trade Organization mechanism for doing mutual trading.
Okay, I mentioned earlier the area of blue economy, and just a few days ago, Nigeria submitted its ratification on fisheries to WTO. Where is Thailand in that, and how can Nigeria utilize its waters in terms of fisheries? Fisheries is a big business around the world.
Right. If we talk about anything blue, we have to refer to anything red, because what we call about the Blue Sea or the Red Sea strategy for us is something to do with technology, because that's what we are good at, because technology can be utilized in any aspect of trading and industrial development. If we talk about agriculture, our industry have been benefit from our technology, because any farmers that would like to have a good farming or harvest will need to know about the climate change. We need to know about the climate forecast. So our information technology have helped the farming to look into what can be beneficial or what can be improved for the agriculture production. And at the same time, Taiwan and Nigeria can benefit from each other because we import quite a lot of your high quality agriculture product like sesame or chestnuts and cashew nuts to Taiwan to grind into sesame oil that we can export or put into our sesame oil like family usage. So this is very mutually beneficial to each other. And also our car parts, our motorcycle parts have been imported into Nigeria. So this mutually beneficiary thing can be moving forward also. So if we have more time, I'll present you some more evidence about the blue industry development. But I don't think I might have that kind of a luxury to do that today.
Okay,
but,
talking about luxury for that, while we look forward to that collaboration that you're also looking forward from the Nigerian government and the Taiwan government, I will just give you a minute or so for you to sell Taiwan to Nigeria. This I'm giving you for free, but next time I'm going to charge you.
Thank you so much for your gracious offer. Well, Taiwan stands until today as the role model of non-oil economy. At the same time, we found our strong point in high technology and advancement into the core technology of semiconductor and also microchip. We are the most advanced and largest manufacturer in the world to produce microchip. Any of your mobile phone, any of your smart devices, you have Taiwanese microchip in there. Any of the great military equipment made by the US or Western have Taiwanese chip in there. But at the same time, we develop into the assisting of electrical cars that will help Elon Musk for his Tesla and also other industry to utilize Taiwan information technology. And the best model is called the smart city model. Even the Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, went to Taiwan just a few months ago to participate in our Smart City International Expo to try to collaborate Taiwan smart city. That means the resolution for helping city government or state government to run a good governmental into artificial intelligence collaborating with the state government. So thank you so much for that 1 minute. I try my best.
Thank you. You actually tried your best and you kept to time. Thank you, Mr. Liu Andy Vingpin, Representative Tapai Trade Office in Nigeria. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and introducing Taiwan to Nigeria. I bet you Nigeria will do well to reciprocate such gesture, and both countries will benefit mutually and business-wise. Thank you, Mr. Andy. Moving on, professionals in the mortgage and real estate sector have been urged to obtain the necessary certification and license of practice from the regulatory body or face sanctions for breaking the law. Registrar Chief Executive Officer Institute of the Mortgage Brokers and Lenders of Nigeria, Jasper Adeleye, who made this known in a statement signed in Abuja, said the 2020 Act established the institute empowers it as only body responsible to regulate this sector with the intention to eliminate unlicensed practitioners. Adeleye further called on all stakeholders to ensure compliance with the regulator of this sector or risk legal proceedings and other sanctions as stipulated in the Act 2020 as gazetted by the registrar. He described the Institute's mandate, which includes aiding access to mortgage facilities, regulate the practice of all corporate or incorporated bodies, societies, firms, companies, or persons, as sacrosanct, and it will pursue with all vigor as empowered by law establishing the Institute of Mortgage Brokers and Lenders of Nigeria. And it is a body responsible for the regulation and certification of all mortgage professionals. Moving on. Let's take a look at the energy market, where oil rebounded on Thursday after the previous day's plunge, as data showed a jump in refinery runs at world's top crude importer, China. Though a weak economic backdrop capped gains. Brent crude futures rose 36 cents to $73.59 a barrel in early trading, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures climbed 39 cents at $68.66 a barrel. Both benchmarks fell 1.5% on Wednesday after the U.S. Federal Reserve projected the need for more rate hikes this year, triggering fears that a higher interest rate environment would slow the economy and lower oil demand. On that note, let's see how other commodities are trading around the world. The Nigerian equities market closed positive in midweek trade at the end of Wednesday's trading session on the exchange. A total of 1.186 billion shares and 10,369 deals, corresponding to a market value of 19.2 billion naira, were traded. Compared with the previous trading day, which was Friday, today's data shows improvement in volume, 216% improvement in turnover, and 57% improvement in deals. The current market capitalization is 31.7 trillion naira. United Bank for Africa recorded the highest volume of 250 million traded shares, followed by Guarantee Trust Holding, 208 million, and Zenith Bank, 85.7 million. Next is the global market report, packaged by Bosede Ebo. Bosede, take it from me.
Increase its benchmark policy rates by another 25 basis points when it meets Thursday, and is expected to say that future rate decisions will be data dependent as uncertainty weighs on the outlook. European market opened lower this Thursday morning for the latest monetary policy decision from the European Central Bank. After the U.S. Federal Reserve held off on a rate hike, another 2/4 percentage point moves are on the way before the end of the year. In Japan, both the Nikkei 225 and the top finally, Hong Kong Hang Seng Index rebounded and climbed 1.6% after snapping a 5-day winning streak, while Chinese market also rose, with the Shanghai Composite of 0.61% and the Chinese climbed 1.72% higher. US stock futures roughly flat after the Federal Reserve skipped a rate hike at its meeting that ended Wednesday, but signaled 2 more rate hikes may still be in store later this year. The industrial average rose by 5 points, or 0.01%. S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 futures climbed 0.06% and 0.07%. For Africa, South Africa JSE Africa Top 40, Tunisia and Namibia's overall index opened positively. Bosede Ebo, Business Express.
This is where we end this edition of Business Express. We value your feedback, so keep comments, observations, and suggestions coming. Be informed that all of these episodes are available on YouTube on NTA's channel. Business Express returns Friday at 3 p.m. I am Benny Adams saying, have a wonderful day ahead.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app. the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the U-Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
Water is life. It is not a cliche. It is a fact. Medical experts say 60% of the human body is made up of water, just like 75% of the Earth's surface is said to be covered with water. Plants, animals, and humans all need water for various purposes. You may think the call for constant drinking of water is overrated, but here are some benefits of this colorless liquid. Water is the #1 cleanser of the skin, not just from outside, but within. Without water, the skin cannot function at its best. It becomes dry, tight, and prone to aging. Drinking enough water helps to flush toxins from the skin, keeps the skin moisturized, and also reduce acne. Did you know drinking water first thing in the morning fights toxins in the stomach and boosts metabolism? Many health experts say drink at least 8 glasses of water a day. This will prevent dehydration and keep the body at a normal temperature. Water is a great mouth cleanser. It rinses some food particles from the teeth, prevents some buildup of bad bacteria which causes mouth odor. Also, drinking water frequently keeps the mouth moist. Water is a great source of weight loss. Health practitioners advise that water be taken at least 30 minutes before meal. This prevents overeating by creating a sense of fullness. Did you know water helps the kidney remove waste from the blood in form of urine? Every day, the kidney filters about 120 to 150 quarts of waste in form of urine. If the kidney does not function very well, waste products and excess fluid can build up inside the body. This also can lead to some diseases such as the kidney stone. Drinking water helps the bowel to function properly. Lack of water can lead to digestive problems, constipation, and increases the risk of heartburn and stomach ulcer. Indeed, nature has blessed us with water, not only to quench the thirst, but also as a medicine.
NTA Parliament is a dedicated 24-hour channel that broadcasts the activities of the Nigerian Senate, Federal House of Representatives, and all the 36 state houses of assembly. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
The population of Abuja is so much that I believe that in the next 20 years there will be population explosion.
Naturally, herders are not bad people, but it's because of this climate change that is making them to look as if they are bad. So when they are looking for daily bread for their cows, they have to find something for them to eat.
Global warming is a global warning that it is a time for climate action for everybody. Nigeria should be in the forefront.
Where there is willful breach, there should be a commensurate sanction.
Let's get our mindsets right. Once your mindset is right, you will know what's important and what's not important.
Welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We are live here in the city of Abuja, the nation's capital. My name is Tessie Omeri. Let's begin with